I'm Kelly Carter, and this is Another Act. Queen Latifah, welcome to the show. Well, first off, congrats on the success of the Equalizer. Let's go all the way back to the third season premiere because that was colossal. And let's let the people know that it was the most watched season premiere this season on any other network with more than 7 million viewers. What does that success for this project in particular mean to you?
It means that all the hard work is worth it. Oh my gosh. It means throw a little ice on that shoulder for the next time you have to flip somebody, it's okay. Put a little ice on the knees and we're going to keep going, let's go. And it also means my grandmother won't be mad at me. My Aunt Angel won't be mad at me. My Aunt Virginia won't be mad at me. You want me to run through the whole family? Because that's what would happen. If I don't make that show, they are going to go nuts. And football, go easy on us because y'all get me in trouble every time y'all run late. So wrap up the game. Get it done.
I love that. And I don't know if we're spending enough time talking about how a show like this, being fronted by a Black woman, is this successful. But you tell me, have you spent any real time thinking about and understanding the impact of this series and your visibility in this series?
I don't know if I sit around and dwell on that, because I just don't know that I've ever done that. I just see what I see and I know what I have to do. And I know that there's more that has to be done. So I'm all inside of this show. I'm all inside of every level of it, trying to make sure that it's not just me you see, but all behind the camera looks like this. There are women out here who are out making it happen every day and raising families just like my mother did. And we need to see more of that on television so that people can just relate to themselves.
Well, people see you, sis, and they're relating, so much so that the show was already picked up for season 4 very early into this new season. Why is it that TV works so well for you as a medium at this point in your career? Why do you think that is?
I just think, I think it was the timing, it was the project. I think it was the fact that a lot of people may have watched this show as kids. And then, of course, Dee came and made the movies very popular. But this was an opportunity to see Queen Latifah as the Equalizer. What is she going to do with it? And this is what we're doing with it. So it was really about making you forget about all of that and just kind of focusing on this for a minute in this version of the story. And in this version of the story, this woman has a daughter and she has an aunt, and this is their family. And showing families are different everywhere, all over. The family is family, period. But it's not a cookie cutter sort of thing. And I think it was so much negativity in the world. People needed to see the good guy win, if you will, needed to see some justice. It was a perfect time to see some justice, and people are still gravitating toward that. Also some of the stories we tackle, we're not afraid to touch on subjects that are touchy to folks, because that's the whole point of it. And if we can't do that, then what are we doing? So you're going to see more of that this year. You're also going to see the whole group take more part in what McCall is doing rather than just her. And so it's really kind of funny because I'm always trying to separate my real brain from what would happen on television because I'm like, ain't no way I'm doing that, but it's TV. So I have to remember that sometimes. It's just so very interesting. But I don't know. I think the audience has always been ready. I've always felt like the audience is ready. We look and we know that there's people want to see they want to see good entertainment. And they definitely want to see it from us. And the problem has never been enough supply to satisfy the demand. So, and it's not just one-sided. because I'm a woman, of an African American woman, a Black woman here in America, does not mean that only Black people show up to watch the content I create, the movies or the television. People want to see it if it's good. So um, it's always been like that. We just have to keep that going, keep that pipeline open.
But I mean, you're still saying yes to film scripts. So I would imagine that in order for you to say yes, it has to have something and it has to give you something that maybe you haven't seen come across your desk before.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not looking to add anything to that workload. I'm not looking to do that. I'm really I enjoy what I do. It's challenging and it can be tiring at times, but there's nothing like doing a really good scene and feeling really good about it, or putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something and having the audience receive it like that. For me, it was music, and it was instant. I know I'm giving this to you, and you're gonna give me back the truth, whether you feel it or not. And that exchange has always been something I've been used to, and so I just want to do interesting things. I just want to do something fun or something clever. It doesn't have to be a specific genre. Uh, I just had this movie on Netflix, which was number one. Uh, and well, we've had two of it this year with Hustle with Adam Sandler, and then End of the Road with me and Luda and the kids and Millicent directing. And these are opportunities to not just for me to star in a film, but to produce a film, to create a film, and to make sure people get jobs. And we give people more experience, especially people of color and women in positions where they are producers, they are directors, they run departments, they learn, and they're able to continue working because everyone wants someone diverse. Well, we got to get in the pipeline and we have to get experience and we have to be there in order for that to happen. So, and that has to continue to happen, not just be a fad, for a minute, but it has to continue so that we can grow. And so I feel good about whenever I'm able to make that happen. But what the project will be, who knows? It could be some music again. It could be touring again. It could be some funny movie that comes across my desk, or just a cameo in something that we're producing. I don't have to be in everything. I can also uh, be behind the camera and produce other things, which we're also constantly doing as well as management. So I'm fine to do that. But it definitely has to be worth it for me to take my off time from this show to make it happen.
Yeah, look, don't be teasing music and a tour in this interview, Latifah. Don't do that.
Music. There's always music. It may not be out, but there's always music. There's so much of it.
I love it. No, I love it. And I want to stay with that because something that you said a few beats back is the thing that I think I've always appreciated about your career, your platform, and your voice. And that's how you've always centered it around women and Black women in particular. And you're doing that also in the tech space. So tell me about that. I mean, I know that we've talked about the importance the progression of Black women are for you, but how did this venture begin for you and what is it that you're looking to do with it?
I'm looking to help evolve small businesses. I'm looking to support women. I'm looking to support minority-owned businesses. Um, we Black women particularly made a huge contribution to bringing back the economy of the United States after that housing bubble. You see, a lot of people lost their houses with those mortgages and those bad loans and those bad deals. But it was also a time where the entrepreneurial Black woman came out. And instead of working that job that she didn't like all those years, she decided, you know what, it's time for me to start my business. That thing I always wanted to do. And I believe something like 2 million new jobs were by Black women specifically. And we don't always get the credit for it, and we don't always get the dollars that should come back to us. when difficult things like what happened with COVID happened and these PPE loans come in and things like that. So we don't always, we often get the short end of the stick, but whenever there's an opportunity for me to help make sure we don't, and that we do get that credit and we do get that support, um, I'm all about it because I always see my mother. I always see my mother, who saved up what she had to save up in the bank, who was a respected educator at the high school, who had children, who applied for a loan for a home and was denied. There was no good reason for it. And so I'll never forgive that. And so for me, that fueled me. I was like, forget it. I'm going to buy my mother a house. And I did at 21. At 21, my mother was a homeowner because I wasn't having it. That was the drive for me. It wasn't just about make music. It was about change our economic lives. It was about buy my mom a home, give her equity in her own home. She's beautifying someone else's property, planting all these flowers and doing all this painting. This is not our home. So it's always been about what would my mom need? What would a mother who at some point was a single mom with 2 kids, what does she need? Who's trying to make it, who needs to move up and up and up. And these are the kinds of things that you need. You need a little cash infusion here and there. You need some mentorship. You need some support. You need things like this. And so that's why I love the idea of what Lenovo is doing with supporting small businesses. And that's what my family was kind of part of my family was built on, So I always think about that, whether it's a CoverGirl deal, whether it's, any sort of thing I've thought about through the years has always had my mom in mind, including, magazines that I wanted to appear in.
I love that. And I love hearing that really comes from an authentic and very lived in space for you. Before I let you go, have you thought about what your barometer might be for what leveling the playing field looks like for women and minority owned businesses? Is that something that you're hoping to see happen as a result of your involvement in this initiative?
Well, from some of the studies that I've heard about, when a woman is at the helm, let's just take music or film, for instance, when a woman is directing a movie, she's, something like 50% of the crew will be minorities. She is more likely to hire minorities and employ minorities and women of color in all departments. And so what happens is you not only get that job, but let's say it takes 150 to 200 people to make a movie. Now we're talking numbers. And so those people get to get experience. They are able to work, and they tend to go on and do the same thing when they have the opportunity. So that's what you want to continue to do. You want to build. Let me tell you something. It's hard right now to find people of color with the experience that we need to direct, to produce, to do all of the different jobs that are required right now. And there are many companies who want to hire, but because there's been such a deficit for such a long time of opportunity, it's hard to find the qualified people that we want. Everybody is booked and busy right now. And so what do? You hire and you train and you promote through your ranks. I'm watching people rise up through our own show who are being promoted through the ranks because they are excellent. They're really good and they're talented and they should be in that department and they're going to this department and they got our show running. They're running our show from within. And every person is as important as I am. And if we treat people like that in the workspace itself, then we make sure that everyone is sort of taken care of and learning and sharing, and we're not hoarding the information, but we're teaching and we're giving a little extra room because it hasn't been there. We haven't had that grace, that space, and definitely haven't had that money, And so things like the Queen Collection, things like Lenovo's Evolve Small. These are important initiatives to be a part of to help level the playing field, which is going to take a long time. But hey, we keep stepping, one step at a time. Let's go.
Absolutely. Well, look, you know I love a queen who's a queen, and I always love talking to you so much. Thank you so much for taking time out to chat with me today. I really appreciate it. And I always appreciate what you put out there in the world, both as an entertainer and obviously in spaces like this. Thank you for that.